Hello everyone, Niamh here, and I have some new bags I want to show. Yeah, I like to make my own bags for my tarot decks, and most of them I make myself, but some of them come from other people, and some of them I use the bag that came with the deck, or another one that I find, or whatever. But most of the bags I make myself. Yeah, I guess we'll just go ahead and start this. And I like to do these, like twice a year or so, because I usually make several in a year. And yeah, so I have 5 to show now. And the first one I'm going to show is actually one I've already shown on my channel a couple times in different videos. Yeah, and that is this one here. And I made this for the horror tarot. This is how it's usually sitting in my on my shelf here, tied up. And I've been doing these little tab things for the strings, the ties. Yeah, and it's basically 2 sides that on this one I did a little bat embroidery on one side and a spider embroidery on the other, and then I put the string inside and just kind of sewed them together. Yeah, and it turned out pretty cool, and I've kind of been enjoying this lately. And the idea for that, for these little tab things, came from another bag that I made a while ago, and this was for the Desert Illuminations. I won't pull this out, but I made little alien head tabs for these ones, and I really loved how that turned out. So this is a fun deck. I've been wanting to do the same thing and wanting to do this more with other decks, so I did that here with this one. And so the bag itself, the deck is in there, but the bag itself, I have this bat embroidery on there, and then the background I did so I did the bat in red, and then the background was in black to kind of do a color on color, black on black sort of design here. I really wanted the bat to be showcased, and then have the design to be kind of blended in with the fabric. I could have done the whole thing in black, but I kind of wanted to have the red bat there. So cool. So I am going to do a little thing where I'm kind of using the bag here as kind of like the oracle card, and then having the decks on either side to just kind of showcase how it looks with the cards. All right, let's do this deal here. All right, so I think this looks pretty cool. Let me see if I can angle the camera a little bit better. There we go. I think that's pretty good. So I think this looks pretty dang cool for this. Yeah, a lot of times I make these bags large enough to fit the box that I keep the bags, that the decks came in. But the box for this one was just a little too large. I don't like to make the bags so large. I want them to be small enough that if I decide to not keep them in the box, it's not going to be a huge bag with the deck, which I have done before. I've made some bags a little bit too large, and then decided I didn't really like the box for it because the box was too large. So I ended up just putting the deck in the bag, and now the bag's way too big. But this one, the box was a little too large. I only really like to do that if the box for the deck is fitted around the deck. I don't know if that makes sense. So like a tuck box, absolutely, I would make it large enough to fit the tuck box. But a clam box, or a box that's fitted to the deck, I will usually keep it in the box. I hope that made sense. But so yeah, I'm really happy with how this one turned out. I think it looks pretty cool. It's got the same sort of horror vibe. Oh, and the inside is a pentacle fabric that I thought was pretty cool. And I usually try to do the this part here that has the ties. Sorry, I can't speak. The part over here is usually the same as the inside, but sometimes I do a different fabric. But yeah, so I think I really like the way this one turned out. Cool. So what do you think? I think it turned out pretty cool. Anyway, so I think we will move on to the next bag. So there we go. That was the Horror Tarot. All right, so the next bag is much simpler. And here it is. Yeah, so this one, there's no, little tabs for the ties. This one is for, drumroll, and here we have the box for this one. This is for the Alchemical Tarot 6th edition. So Alchemical Tarot Renewed 6th edition, so the Blue Sky edition. And this, the deck is, the box for it is pretty tightly around the deck, pretty fitted for the deck, so I've kept the box with it. Yeah, so I will go ahead and lay these out. So this one was a nice simple one. This is actually not an embroidery that I did. This was a patch that I already owned. I have a whole bunch of patches from when my kids were babies because I used to make cloth diapers and I used to sell them. Not a lot, but some of them I would sell. And it was easy to have a bunch of patches. And I also did embroideries on the diapers, but I started out just doing the patches. So I have like a bulk patches that I got, and I only had one of these, and I think it's like supposed to be like a Virgo patch or something, but it's just a lady with a moon, a silver moon, and yeah, I thought it fit this theme pretty well, so I decided to use it on this. And the bag itself is just a nice like dark blue velour. Not sure if that's really picking up on camera, but it is like a dark blue. I'll try to do some lighting editing in my program, but I am using a new program, so I'm still kind of getting used to the adjusting the colors and lighting, etc. So the inside is just a nice silver velour, or crushed velvet, actually. It's nice silver crushed velvet, and then I have a silver and black pentacle border. And then I used purple ties to kind of match the purple in her dress here. And also I think there's a little bit of a purpleness to some of the cards. So I was just kind of pulling that in. And yeah, I like to just it being nice and simple like this. I didn't think this one needed to be all that fancy. So I think this is just right. What do you guys think? I think it's got the vibe that I was going for this deck. We'll do a few more just to kind of look at the different designs. This is cool. That's cool. Maybe I'll leave it on this, but I don't know. I'll go to the next one. I just want to look at the different cards with, oh, here we go. We'll leave it on this because here we go. We've got a lady in kind of a purple dress, and it's the moon card. I'll pretend that this was my inspiration, even though it wasn't, but I'll pretend it was, because that's kind of what I was sort of going for with this. All right, so that is the Alchemical Tarot in the bag that I made for it. I'm going to get everything back in here. Okay, tying this off. Here we go. All right. So, really cool. So that was the Alchemical Tarot. Cool. All right, so the next one is also pretty similar, or I mean, pretty similar in the sense that it was pretty simple. Simple was the word I was looking for, not similar. So another one that was fairly similar, though this is an embroidery that I put on here. Now this is for, and it's really nice and cute. It's got this nice pink gingham right here, and then a girl with some heart balloons and really pretty border right here. And this is the Storyboard Tarot. So let me lay out the setup here. Oh, and as you can see, I put the box in here because this is mostly fitted. This is actually a little on the large size for the boxes that I'll keep in bags, but because it's mostly fitted in here, I did decide to keep it in this. And I don't think it's going to be too terribly large if I just decide to put the deck in there. Let me see. I mean, it's a little too large, so it is better with the box. But let's lay this out here. Put the book away, and here we go. So I think this one is just really, really cute. I really like the way this one turned out. And oh, we just happened to be on the one with the balloons here. This wasn't the inspiration. I actually just found this embroidery as an option, and I was like, oh, that would look really good on the Storyboard Tarot bag. Yeah, and you know, and I used I don't know if you can see here, but I used a variegated thread, so it's like it changes colors as it goes through, and it like zigzags this way, or it's a slanted this way. So yeah, so, but you can see that it's color changes, and I almost never use variegated thread in embroideries, but of all the designs, this one just seemed like it would fit nicely, so I went ahead and did a variegated thread. And I didn't do any tabs for this one, though I am thinking about adding some later, because I can, all the ones that I don't have tabs for, I can, if I want, create some later on, and I might, because I was considering making little teacups. It would probably just be circles, and then it would have a small little teacup embroidery in it, which I do have. I do have a tiny, like, teacup embroidery, or latte embroidery, that would be pretty similar, and I might do something like that, because the border I was going to use right here was going to be like little teacups, but I decided to use that border for something else, and then I didn't end up using it at all for any deck, so I still have a bunch of that one left. I can probably make 2 bags with that border, but I kind of decided I liked these flowers a little bit better for this one, so maybe I will make those teacup tabs to go on here. I don't know. I haven't quite decided yet, but I kind of wanted to be done making this one, so I went ahead and just decided not to make the tabs. But this is a nice deck. And it's quickly becoming one of my favorites. It's got a nice little energy to it. I have a string. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, and I love how this deck has, you know, it kind of breaks up the card into a storyboard, basically. And so now you have different sections of this card and different ways you could read into the different sections. Because one of the things I had been doing with this deck a little bit was using it almost like an oracle card, pulling one of the cards, and then, like, so let's say I pulled this card, and then pulling 1, 2, 3 more cards from a different deck to kind of, you know, expand on the different storyboard parts. Like, you know, a card for this section, a card for this section, and a card for this section. And that was kind of a fun and interesting way of using this deck, using that sort of manga or storyboard style. Yeah, and then I saw the this embroidery design, and I thought it was kind of perfect for this. It was just nice and simple. You know, we just see a girl walking away and holding the heart balloons, and it was kind of reminiscent of some of the cards in this deck. And it's kind of got a sweetness to it, kind of a sweetheart sort of vibe. And that is kind of a feeling that I get from this deck, is a little bit of a sweetheart vibe. You know? I don't know if that makes sense, but I like it. So yeah. Now the inside of this is the pink gingham. And it's the same as the border out here for the drawstrings. I went with this like really light mint color sateen type fabric. Yeah, I have like a bunch of this, and I have used it here and there, mostly for the insides of things, for the lining of things, but I really liked it for this, especially with the girl with the balloons here. So yeah, so that is the Storyboard Tarot. Let me go ahead and put everything back. All right, we've got 2 more to go, but I will say that if you follow me on Instagram, then you have already, hopefully, seen all of the decks that I'm showing in this video, because all of the decks that I'm showing in this video are all the bags I'm showing in this video. I will sometimes say bags when I mean decks, and vice versa. I'll say decks when I mean bags. Sorry about that. But anyway, all of the bags that I'm showing in this video are bags that I've made so far this year in 2026. So we're in March now, and I've made 5 bags. I have a few more still in the works, but yeah, but if you follow me on Instagram, you have already seen these 5 decks. So cool. All right, so the next one is actually my most recent creation, and it's for a brand new deck, and it wasn't in my lineup for decks I was going to make bags for yet. I was going to make one for this one later, but I kind of got inspired, so I made this one first, and that is this one here. It is now right here it says ukiyo, and in fact this is not reversible, but flippable. It's either side could be the front. So this side also says ukiyo, and that means floating world. And this is the floating world tarot. So I have a really intricate dragon design here on this side, and I don't have any tabs for it, but I might make some in the future. But as of right now, I don't have tabs for it. I kind of just wanted to be done making the bag. So yeah, and up at the top, we have kind of this Japanese design with a bunny. And we have a similar, it's the same fabric, but it's a different part of the fabric. So that Japanese design in the background with a bunny right here. And that is because this deck has bunnies in it. So I did the teacups on this side, and this was the other bag that I was going to use the teacup border on. But the teacup border is about the same width as this one here, and it was just going to be too large. So I had this thin border that I decided to use instead, and it still fits, and I think it looks nice. But the intention was to use a teacup border. But anyway, so here is the deck. I think I want to leave it on the cups because this is cool. This was an applique. So I have the fun polka dot background here, and this is a very fun, silly sort of deck here. And this was the inspiration. This card here was the inspiration. So that's where the stack of teacups comes from, and why I wanted the teacup border. It was pretty much just because of this card here, and you have that rabid bunny in there as well. So so that was the inspiration. But yeah, so this design, all the designs of these cards are very silly or very whimsical, but in a sort of like lots of different patterns, very pattern focused. So there's lots of different patterns in these cards, and that's kind of what I was trying to mimic with the, very maximalist sort of design here. Lots going on, and also why I kind of liked doing the multiple sides. And so this is different fabric in the teacups because this was an applique. So this was the Japanese wave. Right here. This is the same fabric I used for the next bag that I'm going to show. And this one is a nice purple, like Japanese rising sun design. And then on the inside here is actually the same fabric I used on the inside, because this, I did a different fabric on the inside versus what I put right here. So this on the inside is like a blue, green, and yellow like tie-dye fabric that I thought was just really cool and sort of fit the vibe of this deck. So that's what's down here, though you can barely see it. But yeah, so that is the multiple fabrics in this applique. So what do we think about this? I think this was really cool. Yeah, I'm really happy with how this one turned out. It's fun. Let's switch it to the dragon for a little bit. And this is something I've done before. Like I have this deck, this bag here that I made for the Memento Mori. I'm not going to pull everything out, but I also did a reversible thing, or not reversible, but flippable, I guess, because reversible means I could turn it inside out, and not really, but yeah. So I did the same thing with this one, and that is a design that I kind of like to do sometimes, but I kind of have to change up the way that I make the bags if I decide to do a front and back. And either side could be the front and either side can be the back. So that's what's special about that. And same thing with this is either side could be the front and either side could be the back. But yeah, I really love the way this turned out, and the backs look really cool with it too. And here's more bunnies. Yeah, and all of these are wearing bunny hats. So maybe, oh yeah, both sides have the bunny. So cool. I'm really happy with the way this bag turned out. It's very busy, very maximalist, which was kind of what I was going for with this, because this deck is kind of maximalist. It's kind of got all sorts of different patterns meshed together that don't quite match, but then do match. And yeah, so that was a feel of this bag. All right, I'm going to put this away now. So this was the latest one that I made. So the next one I'm going to show, I made before this one. But yeah, but I think it might be my favorite of these, perhaps. Though, I don't know. I do really like this one. This one might be my favorite of the ones that I made. But the tabs are a little bit better on this one. And so this one, I'll pull it out. This one is... Let me show the tabs. There we go. So we got this cute strawberry tabs. The tabs were done better on this one than this one. And this is for, by the way, this is for, let me just go ahead and pull it out since I hadn't said it yet. This is for the Echo Tarot. And again, if you've seen my Instagram, you've already seen these because I did share a post earlier this week that showed all of the new decks, or new bags that I made. Yeah, anyway, so the tabs, I did a better job with these ones. I only did an embroidery on one side, and the other side is just the fabric. And as you can see, it is the same fabric that I used in this teacup here. But I really liked this. It took me a long time to decide how I wanted to do this bag. But the tabs themselves, I did a better job on this one. This one, I made them separately and then tried to sew them together. And, you know, they're not perfectly... lined up. I tried to make them lined up really well, but it was almost impossible. And I did the best I could. So they're a little wonky. It doesn't bother me, but I did better with this one. And part of that's because I didn't need to embroider the other side. And because of that, this sewed directly onto this. It wasn't two different sides. It was an in the hoop design, which is, you know, this isn't a sewing channel, so, but it was in the hoop design where it automatically does it perfectly. So yeah, so this one, the tabs turned out better on these ones, but I'm going to experiment, I think, a little bit with how I might be able to do something like this a little bit better, where I have both sides have an embroidery on them. So there we go. There's that one. Let me lay out the cards here. All right. Get the Zodiac ones out of the way, and here we go. So this is the Echo Tarot, and this is the strawberry edition, and that is exactly why I went with these strawberry embroideries. And I was going to go full strawberry with this thing. I was going to go, I had like other strawberry embroideries I had in my mind. I had a border that had strawberries on it that I was going to use. Like I wanted to go full strawberry on this. But yeah, it just, what I was coming up with just wasn't quite working. And so I decided I didn't want to give up on the strawberry thing. I wanted to have an element of strawberries in it, but I ended up deciding to not put an embroidery on this at all for this part, and just use the embroideries on the strawberries there on the tabs, and just have the fabric, and then have a really thick this is a ribbon, really thick ribbon to go around here. And I had this design already, and it does have that same similar like minty color as this one. These two kind of have a similar vibe to each other, I think. Yeah, and this deck doesn't have any of this blue or any of this yellow that's in it, but I still kind of liked it. So, and I went with that same minty color here for the border around the tabs. Yeah, so I just, you know, and I think this was a better option. It was a lot more sophisticated looking. I still have the fun little whimsy of the strawberries on the tabs, and I have this nice, you know, kind of paisley sort of flowers here that I think goes very nicely with this deck. Even though there isn't any of these colors in this deck, I still think this looks really nice. So yeah, I'm really happy with this one. And this is a great deck, by the way. Yeah, and this is also a nice little bag too. It's because this is a little deck, and it's a nice little tuck box. So of course, I keep it in its box in the bag. So It's a nice small deck, so the bag itself is kind of small, and it's just very cute. I could chuck this in my purse if I wanted to. Yeah. I like the simplicity of this deck and the simplicity of this bag. So the inside is a minky fabric. So it's like a pink, fluffy minky. And I was considering having this being the outside of the fabric, or outside of the bag. And I have this like kind of strawberry quilted design that I was going to put all around it in the same color. It was going to be pink on pink, kind of like how I have right here with the black on black. I was going to do that sort of thing. And it was going to be like strawberries all around with the minky fabric and the strawberry around embroidery. And I did like that design, but it was, I don't know, it was a bit too much. And I think this is much more sophisticated, much nicer. You know, sometimes less is more, and I think that's what I needed to do with this bag. So just have a little bit of a less is more moment. So yeah, so that is the Echo Tarot. Okay, so that was all the bags that I made so far this year. Let me know which one you like the best. Did you like the horror tarot here with the bat and spider tabs and the pentacle fabric on the inside and cool bat on the outside here? Or did you like the nice and simple alchemical tarot? There we go. The nice and simple alchemical tarot. The storyboard tarot. The flippable floating world tarot. Or the Echo Tarot Strawberry Edition. So let me know down below which one was your favorite. I personally am kind of between these two. I kind of like the way both of these turned out, though I'm really happy with this one. And these are also really nice too. And I'm very happy with all of the bags that I made so far this year. The next bags I have in the works. I have fabric picked out for the Somnia Tarot and the Somnia Oracle. And of course, those are going to match. So that's what's on my sewing desk right now, and I don't know exactly when I'm going to make them, but of course they're going to match whenever that comes about. Yeah, so that is that's on my desk right now. That's in the works. I also have on my desk right now fabric picked out, and I'm wavering between some designs for the embroidery, but I have fabric for the cracked amethyst on my desk right now too. So that's kind of what I'm working on. But if inspiration strikes for any of my other decks that I don't have bags for, I might have bags for those next. Who knows? All right. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I will see you next time. Bye.